Hey everybody, Ecto Eric here, and it's story time. Now, being Halloween season, I live in the Northeast, so I am right next door to Salem, and I'm right next door to Plymouth, not very far from either one. Uh, and it's a really weird. I swear we live in one of the highest supernatural areas because it's one of the oldest settlements that we have is within this area that I live in. Uh, and it's funny. It's not funny but scary, and there's like some really tragic stuff. We were in we were in Salem a couple of years ago. My wife and my son, we did a haunted tour, and it was amazing. You know, we did one of the oldest cemeteries, and we did some sites and stuff. And our tour guide was awesome. He was great. He was very interesting. He knew all his stuff and very engaging person. So we did the tour, he's telling us, this, that, and stuff that he lives there, so he's experienced a ton of supernatural stuff. So we get to the end. He goes, I always say this. We went to a small cemetery that's very, very old. You could barely read any of the headstones. I mean, they're from 1600s, 1700s. He said, I save this for the last because this is bad. He said, this is heartbreaking. So he brought us over to this headstone, very small headstone, and you could barely read it. I life of me can't remember, but it was a young girl. I want to say 6, 7 years old. She passed away. They buried her. So the mother went the next day after they put her to rest. She could hear her daughter crying. So got the husband. They come out. The town started because it's a small village. They came out. She was trying to dig up her daughter. They took the mother down because back in those times, in the 1600s, that was the undead coming back. That little girl was not dead. She must have been, in a coma state. They thought dead. That poor little girl must have suffered, and he had a hard time telling us. He goes, "Yeah, she must have." And the poor mother, like the mother, actually ended up not making it like after a day or two. So that was just a tragic, crazy. But back then, they really thought that is a dead coming back. So you have to leave her as is. And that's horrible. Now in Plymouth, the houses are just as old, 1700s stuff. So a lot of the basements, like the basement I'm in now, I have a concrete floor. This house is only 100 years old. But those houses have dirt. And unfortunately, you might have one or two generations living together back then, like you do now. Well, if somebody passed away in the wintertime, this ground is solid. They didn't have backhoes and stuff like that. They weren't going to tear through that terra firma to bury grandma. So they would bury them in the basement of the house. Now, of course, by the time spring rolls around, that body's decomposed. You're not going to want to. Even to this day, it didn't happen that long ago. They were dirt basement. They were going to refinish it, and they dug up. They found skeleton. Oh, call the cops, make sure, yeah. And, they realized, they examined it, said, yeah, this person's been dead for like hundreds of years, so it's not like a recent murder case or anything. So that's weird that, you live in a house and not knowing it. Yeah, somebody's granny could be buried in your basement. We joke about that, but in this area, yeah, that happens quite a bit. So, yeah, so there's other stuff. I'll probably spit some stories out, but yeah, those are the two that, yeah, Northeast. Hey, all right, guys. I hope everybody out there is well. Stay safe, be good to each other, and peace.